Greetings, travelers. Final Fantasy XIV has a cash shop. I do not like cash shops in any video game, but I understand there is a need to make money. It's not as if this is a game where you have to pay a subscription fee in order to play it, and they already have a source of income. Talking about the cash shop in Final Fantasy XIV usually has me met with one singular, all-encompassing response. It's not as bad as other games. Ah, yes, I forgot that we have reached late-stage corporate greed where we all just now accept it as it is. I assume that your other hobbies include licking the boots of Bill Gates or gargling the cum of Jeff Bezos. Well, that's when I say that I too have partaken in the secret Amazon sauce and purchased stuff for real money on the cash shop too. This means that I am not allowed to critique it as it would make me a massive hypocrite. But thankfully, I'm evil now, so I no longer give a fuck. Allow me to make myself clear. I despise cash shops in all video games. It doesn't matter how much I like the game or not. I would personally throw all of them into a pit and fill it with the currently very expensive gasoline and burn it all up if I had the power to do so. I think that they are inherently greedy and a way for corporate overlords to skim some extra cream off the top and put it into their shareholders' bank accounts. It doesn't matter if the company claims that the money goes back into the game. This can never be truly verified unless they want to make all of their finances public knowledge, and I'm also supposed to trust that information. Something that almost no company will do, and something that I'm never going to take at face value anyways. Take it from me, I used to work for a non-profit organization that took donation money, and you bet that we all said that it went back into the place while deep down, we knew that it was all a lie. Something that we had to tell ourselves so that we didn't feel bad at the weird second-hand extortion. At best, I think you can be kind of neutral towards it. When I see someone saying that Final Fantasy XIV has a good cash shop, I think that you've been manipulated. Something that is more painful to admit than to simply go along with. The best thing that the cash shop has going for it is that people like Final Fantasy XIV. This by itself is what helps placate the masses. However, if this game ever starts going downhill in the eyes of many, I guarantee that the cash shop will be one of the first things attacked and also cited as this game's downfall. So let's take a closer look at some things related to the cash shop. As a side note, the cash shop is not going anywhere, not because I have no power, but because it's too baked into the game at this point. Let me debunk two claims that I see far too often in public and private discourse. First up, the cash shop sells mostly cosmetic items. This doesn't give players any intrinsic advantage and is not a good motivator. This is one of the stupidest things I have ever heard. Cosmetics are fucking king in multiplayer video games. Yes, I've joked about it, but like many jokes, there is a grain of truth there. Many players want to look cool in this game. I'd even say the majority do. How do I know that cosmetics are a good motivator? Well, for one, if they weren't making money, they wouldn't keep selling them. But it's also how they get people to populate all the content in this game. The old carrot and carrot approach to get players to do something they otherwise wouldn't. PvP rewards, Eureka rewards, Bosja rewards, and even the ultimate shiny weapons themselves. These are not here to reward players for doing those pieces of content, but to motivate players who otherwise wouldn't even try it. You think that some of these things are incredibly low populated now? Imagine these instances without the cosmetic rewards on top of it. Hardly anyone would run something like Delibrum Reginae Savage without that Cerberus mount as the cinnamon candy that you get for defeating the final boss. I would know, because that's the only reason that I ran that instance. Hell, I'd probably clear Baldestian Arsenal more than once if I wanted anything more than this cool amount that I do actually use. Although I do like attempting ultimate content purely for the sake of attempting to beat it but ultimately failing because I suck at the game, that's about as far as it goes for me. I just like killing. If the shiny weapons didn't exist, I know an overwhelming number of people who would never even bother to step foot into the Thunderdome. The other argument usually goes something like this. Cosmetics are motivators, but this game doesn't advertise the cash shop to you 24/7 and shove it down your throat. To that I say, well, I guess there isn't a pop-up, but that's because they don't need it. You know what the biggest advertisement in the world is? Seeing other players with those items in-game. Every single person in this game sees the glamour and the mounts that other players are using, and they think to themselves, that looks kind of cool. Where did they get it? And that's it. They already got you. They don't need to advertise anything directly because that's what the player base is already here for. You see that hot and sexy item and wonder how you can acquire it. People run something like Copied Factory for those sweet 2B leggings that will make your character's booty bigger. People buy the Dalmascan drape top off the market board because they see someone else wearing it, and you end up buying the collegiate skirt because you like the way it looks. It's not rocket science. It's why people who don't care about glamour in this game are the outliers, the lone wolves of playing Final Fantasy. If the piece of glamour that you want to complete your perfect outfit is only obtainable through the cash shop, well, you better go get the wallet. There is another thing on the cash shop though, something else that motivates people to buy it: the not cosmetics. This includes the level skips. This is another thing that is bought and sold for the low price of insert currency and value here. It's very easy to assume that people only buy this for no good reason when there are a couple of real motivators. One is seeing a high-level player in the wild having fun, and the other is already leveling a job to max and wanting to level another job. You could put all the time and effort in, or just buy it. I know I did. Saved me a lot of my precious free time as well. Selling cheat codes is pretty funny to me. Some will tell you that this creates players who level skip and have no idea what to do, but you can make it work if you want to put the time and effort in. Leveling doesn't even really teach you how to play the game anyways, and people who want to play well are going to put the work in regardless. It is not any different than unlocking Reaper at level 70 and then deciding that you don't want to read your tooltips. Still, I don't personally like the level skips despite me giving them money to keep selling them. Nah, who am I kidding? These are going to stick around forever too. Remember, Final Fantasy XIV is a bit of a grind to get to the end game, but you can participate with the rest of the active community salivating at the newest story arc if you just hand over some money for that precious story skip as well. I am not attacking the community at large for excluding newcomers. This is just the nature of episodic plot. One that can be exploited even further for monetary gain. Gotta get that sweet, sweet money. I'm not going to bring up having to buy these skips to create alt characters to play with different friends in different data centers, because in theory DC travel will mean they're not trying to exploit that anymore. But I will say that historically that's also been a big motivator for buying the skips. Want to change your race because they fucked you over for an entire expansion? Go get the money. Want the good dyes, but you don't want to illegally buy Gil? Well, you better go get the green stuff. Want those cool emotes? Go get the cash. Want to spice up your ERP sex dungeon? Better spend that dough. You want to cosplay as a main character? Hand over that bread. You want to get a mount that is strictly faster for faster plot progression? Fork over the coin. The cash shop can do it all. Every single type of reward that you can get in the game exist for real money. Sure, they're not going to be the exact same cosmetic, and they will continue to keep them separate probably, but every type of reward that you can get by playing the game, there is a similar type of reward that you can get by letting the Square Enix CEO dip his grubby little fingers into your money hole. The only other thing that I want to talk about is simple: event rewards. Another thing that you can either be subbed to the game at the time it comes out or pay money afterwards to obtain the item. Well, I guess that's fair. They make money either way. Although it's not like the event could give you all of the previous rewards and the new ones in addition to it for participating in a current event at the current time, or just rerun the old events at all. Look, that's what I would do since I am a nice guy. I might be evil, but I'm not a monster. Although I am starting to feel like I shouldn't talk about anything in this game because I'm kind of surprised. Here I was, making this script a long time ago and revisiting it now, and you can now try on the cash shop outfits in-game. And I mean, fair enough, I guess. If I'm going to be able to spend real money on something, I better be able to see how it will look for me in-game, but Yeah, I didn't really like getting a notification about that. Anywho, I don't really have much else to say. To anyone out there who thinks that this is the best version of a cash shop, I guess it is. But on the other hand, it's the best version of something that I personally think is bad by nature. It is a very shiny pile of shit. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. That is your business. But I guess I'm glad this game doesn't charge you real money for its loot box system. At least not yet. Now let's get out there and make sure to buy the latest busty outfit for your big titty waifu.